Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Ty Spiker Christensen. I got a lot of pain. Is that the line? I think that's the line. Keep saying it. It's like, got a lot of pain in me. The Pine script, the Lost Pine or whatever. And we've got Jordan Christensen on the podcast.
Hello. I can't think of a quote.
We've got Cameron Mickle on the podcast.
I have 36 kids. What are you, a foster parent? I'm a teacher, so a lot of those kids, I feel like they're my own kids.
Yeah, sit down. Sit back down, you. And we've got Clinton Westover on the podcast.
Hey, I'm just reading a quote. Oh, wait, actually, so because this wasn't real, I still could potentially get called for jury duty? Dang it.
Today we are talking about Jury Duty. This TV series just hit Prime, Amazon Prime, or it's part of Freevee. Is Freevee part of Prime? I don't understand how it works.
It's Freevee, but like it's on Prime with limited commercials because Amazon Prime has like lots of different streaming services, but any of those you have to watch with little ads.
I didn't know that. Its creators were Lee Eisenberg and Gene Stupnitsky. Wow, do not read that wrong. It's not Stupidsky. Stupnitsky. Poor guy, but he got picked on a lot. And it stars James Marsden and a bunch of other actors. He's the only actor I care to know. And then, of course, our boy, the main character, what was his name? Ronald Madden or something like that.
Dude, James Marsden killed it. He reminds me so much of Michael Scott, which is no surprise. It's the same producers of The Office. But
yeah, there was a lot of similarities there with his like being like a over the top actor. Like everything he was doing was so egotistical, and it was very funny.
Yeah.
But well, what was it like watching Jury Duty for the first time? Well, quick question: does anyone here served on jury duty? Me neither. My wife did just get a letter in the mail, though, like, I kid you not, 2-3 weeks ago, to serve on jury duty next month. And I was like, hey, maybe you'll win $100,000. So should go. But no, it turns out you get paid $40 a day. Which
plus she's the primary caretaker of your kids, so she won't get
I know. But then I told her the same advice that Ronald did. I was like, just tell them that you're racist and they'll send you home. And I wasn't quoting Family Guy. I was like, oh, I guess Family Guy had that joke. It's just like, that's just a no-brainer. It's not like they're gonna want to have you on the case, especially if you have, someone. Which I thought was funny is like, as far as I could tell, the case was all a bunch of white people. I mean, which I thought was funny. It's like, even if you were racist, it has no bearing on this case,
Well, you could still be racist toward
yeah, I feel like they're the most
there
racist.
you go. Yeah, true point. Yeah, he's like, I'm racist toward white people. I hate my own kind. That's really funny.
I mean, he wouldn't be the first.
It's true, right? He's like, I'm despicable. I love it. That's so funny. Well, yeah. So what was it like watching this show for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast? I haven't rewatched it, but I just finished it today, and I think this is a really interesting social experiment. It's kind of like a Truman Show meets like a generic run-of-the-mill reality TV show, but like I like the idea that because at first I was like, I don't know if I like the gimmick where it's just one person. I thought the whole jury group was not aware. But it's like, no, just like one juror, which I thought was fine. But I want to talk about that after we all get into our favorite things and some nitpicks. So, but anyway, it was a wild ride. I thought it was funny. Each episode had like really funny things about it, and yeah, I thought it was enjoyable overall. So, Jordan, how about you, man? What was it like watching it for the first time?
Yeah, I absolutely love this show, and I've just been trying to get everybody to watch it, and I'm so glad because Cameron was like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch this show right now, but I'll let him talk about that. But and after I finished it, I just started rewatching it again, just because on a second viewing I got to really appreciate I got to really appreciate like the characters, and I just thought they were all fun and interesting, especially Chair Pants. I can never get enough of that, or him he just like him sending the letters underneath the door, knock twice, if you're going to sleep, knock once.
Todd was a great character.
Yeah,
Knock
he was
3
so
times if you want food or if you're hungry or something.
No, if
Uh,
you have leftovers and you want me to come over.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, if you have food, knock 3 times.
And my wife is a lawyer, and she kept saying like, "Oh, that wouldn't actually happen," which was pretty funny. But
Well, she's aware that the show is like a gimmick, or she's saying
I
like
know that's what I was
it
telling
could.
her. I'm like, it's not real. Like they're doing this, and there's certain things that they need to do because they want like there to be more of a story and stuff going on. So,
It's
right?
weird because I feel like our boy, the protagonist, he looks a lot like Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia a little bit. Like if you look at the poster, I actually thought it was Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I was like, is that
He kind of
no
does look
way?
like him a
It
little.
looks like him. If you look at the poster, you're like, oh, is that? Anyway, I just thought that was funny. How about you, Cameron? What was like watching it for the first time?
Yeah, so kind of like Jordan mentioned, I didn't really want it just because of class and work. I was like, I don't know if I have enough time to watch a show. And
He has
then
enough time to watch a million movies. How I'm young.
not even.
He's like, I'm getting credit for him.
Um, and then, but yeah, I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed it. We started watching it together as a family, Sunday, and it was just super enjoyable. And um, yeah, it's like a pretty easy recommend, except for like one scene, but
Like 3, but yeah.
3.
I don't know about you guys. Like, no, so the other quote I was gonna say, but it's not necessarily a quote. I was just gonna
Oh
get down. I
no.
was like, "Hey guys, I just got out of Pacific Rim 2, so how's everybody doing?"
Oh, that one's
Pacific Rim
Oh,
2, The Uprising.
now I'm remembering the quote when they're like,
What's
"Can
the
you
movie
eat?
about?
Can you eat the clothing?" Because they're talking about how they're made out of like reused,
Yeah, it's like made out of
recycled.
recycled almonds. Something, dude. That guy, mind you, is in Parks and Rec, so I couldn't be on it because I recognize him from Parks and Rec. He's the
Yeah.
sewage department.
Yep.
I would have recognized him in an instant. I've been like, nope, nope. That's another actor. You have James Marsden and you have a guy from Parks and Rec, and then even like, oh shoot, yeah, I did that part, but I'm really here on jury duty too. I'd be like, there's 2 Hollywood actors in one jury.
I mean, it
Very
is
interesting.
in LA, right?
It's
So it's
true.
like
Yeah,
probably more
but they would.
common.
But again, he was playing a different person. He wasn't playing himself.
Oh, but you don't know his real name, so you wouldn't even know.
I'd IMDb it, but then again, I'm cut off from the world because we're sequestered. So I wouldn't know.
That's right. Sequestered. That's right. Sorry, guys. I'd love to stay and be.
Sequestrian.
I called up paparazzi. Yeah.
Yeah. What, you think I would call a paparazzi? If you need money, just talk to me. Can you give us money? Sorry.
No.
No. A Lone Pine. I like their fake movie. I thought that was funny.
I just feel marginalized. Do you ever feel that way?
You're really moving up in the world. You're a real juror. I'm just on standby. Clinton, how about you, man? What was it like watching it for the first time, rewatching it, or if you have rewatched it?
I only watched it once, but it was so funny. Like, I love how useless the defense is. Like all the
So
time.
bad.
That was so funny. He's like, yeah, we're here for like $2,500, and the judge is like, it's 1.8 million. And like the video they show that like he can't
Yes.
get the video working, and then when he does, he's like, oh, I've never actually watched this. I don't know what's going on.
He's like, tell me, would you hire yourself?
His
like,
own mother would kick him. Like, it's just like, oh my gosh, like this guy is just the worst.
that was really painful to watch. Yes. And then the scene where he's like, I'm representing myself now, Your Honor. And then he like gets up from the chair. He's like, hello, ladies and gentlemen.
And then he runs back.
Did you work? And then he like goes sit on the stand and be like, yes. And then he'd get up and go, oh, it's so painful. They let him do it like twice. It's just so sad.
Oh, so funny. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a really clever idea because I'm a big fan of Nathan Fielder. So it really felt a lot
Nathan
like
Fielder.
that.
Yeah, that's true. That's another good comparison. It's like Truman Show meets Nathan Fielder.
That's how Jordan hooked me. He's like, it's like Nathan Fielder. You have to watch it. And I'm like, okay.
Nathan for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
I was just gonna say Clinton was instantly sold when I said that.
Yeah, I was.
So we'll get into 2 of our favorite things, but one thing I want to throw at you guys. So at the end, they're like, this is I'm a not real judge. This is all a movie thing or whatever. We're all actors. For some reason, I thought it'd be funny if it was like, he's like, and you're awarded $100,000 for all the right answers. And they went through all these examples where he had like good moral character. And I just thought it would have been so funny. It's like, and here's 3 other failed seasons that we've done with other actors that were despicable people that took money when they could. They were willing to for this weirdo. They were willing to do all this stuff. And it's like, they've been like, oh crap. Like he's actually willing to go, a season's over, I guess, or forget it, you know. Would have chickened out or something, but I just thought that was funny where I was like, there would be a moment at the end where they're like showing his great moral character, and I just thought that was really, really funny. Where I was like, man, they need to try a season where you just get the most despicable human being that's like, yeah, I just don't like this person or their prejudice or whatever it is, and they're like trying to get money. Like, anyway.
Well, there's plenty of reality TV shows with terrible people on them.
I know, but I'm like, do the show with a terrible person. Okay. And one other thing I wanted to see more of, I was like, I would love it if they just kept gaslighting him. One of my favorite moments is when the one guy that falls and gets injured and he leaves, and they're all like, hey, he made us this little origami parrot, and like everyone had
Everyone
one
has an
except
origami.
Ronald. I thought that was a really funny
And they're all
moment.
sharing
It was
like very amazing stories.
intimate stories with
Super
him. They're, like,
intimate things.
super personal. Yeah, he's like, he's a great guy, and he's like so wonderful. And he's like, oh, I didn't know. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna go in the bathroom. He's like, okay, yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
It's like
I just
his
love-
only interaction with the guy. And then
Yes.
he's like, I thought he was fine.
Yeah,
Oh, I
and then
just
the
thought that
best
was
is
so
they did a
funny.
flashback. You're like, did you have any moments with him? And then
Yeah,
it flashes back
whatever.
to that scene.
Says it again. He's just like, no, I don't think so. I thought that was really funny where they were all gaslighting him, and I actually thought that that's how the finale was going to end. It was going to be like 12 Angry Men, like all in a room, and they all have to like, they were going to see what he voted first, and then everyone was going to be against him, and they'd all try to gaslight him and see if he was going to cave to the pressure. That's literally what I thought the show was culminating to.
I thought they were gonna do. I thought every single time they were gonna switch it to where somebody else would vote against. Like, so there would be
Yeah.
11 yay and like that one nay every single time. I really thought they were gonna do that, and I thought that would have been really clever.
I thought they were gonna keep stretching it, but they didn't. I did think after he like talks to the one guy, he's assuming that they're all no, and they assume it's him, and then it's like, it wasn't even me. I already voted, not liable. It's like there's somebody else here. But yeah, or 12 Angry Men, like I said, I thought it'd be funny if they all gaslit him and they were like, oh no, like this. And he's like, were you guys watching the same court that I was? Like, and just see how, if he's willing to cave to peer pressure. I actually thought that that's what this ultimately was going to be a social experiment on, right? And I feel like if it was like Sacha Baron Cohen instead of James Marsden, they might have even gone further and, you know, just going down that rabbit hole where they're like, what are you crazy? Like, you saw the same court case we did. Like, he's clearly not liable. And he's like, and it was just like that where, well, again, I think it's funny that they let the guy off because they clearly mentioned they're not allowed to mention the chemicals, but they're like, they did their own investigative work. They're like, oh, these chemicals are moved from here to this room. It's like the jury like actually did their own investigative work. And anyway, I just thought that was super funny. I was like,
Well,
whatever.
What I found super interesting was, and the reason I related it to like the rehearsal is at the very end, this idea that like he actually created real friendships and real bonds. Like the guy with chair pants, like I feel like he really like connected and like tried to help him out. And so then to find out at the end he was just an actor, it's kind of like, I don't know, for me at least, it would kind of destroy me. Like, oh, I thought we had like an actual bond here. And it'd be kind of a letdown and a bummer that it's like
100%. He was reeling. Like at the end, he's like, he said multiple times, he's like, I can't believe this is all fake. Cause he's probably like, he was questioning it. He's like, what about the restaurant? Like with those people that they weren't willing to give up the tables, like those were actors too. And he's like, no freaking way. And he's like,
how
so
far
he's
does
like,
this go?
Yeah. He's like, nothing of the last.
My
3 weeks
life
has
is
been
a
real."
lie.
And then after he wins the $100,000, it's like, that's not real money. Just keeps going. It's like fake, all synthetic. Nothing in his world is real. Yeah, I love it. And then just a big searchlight stage light comes falling out of the sky. He's like,
it's still going on.
Still going. Yeah, he's still in jury duty. His whole life's being monitored. It would be a crazy thing to reel out of, though. Like, I think he did a good job at keeping his composure, but he was just like, what is happening? The judge is all like, I'm not a real judge. This is
think
a real case.
I think I'm also glad that they gave him money because I feel like if you didn't, it would have been like you wasted like a week or who knows how long of my time out of work, all these things.
That might be the loophole though,
What? 2
Cameron. Think
weeks?
about it, because if they hired him on as like a documentary, SAG rules require that they like pay everyone that's like involved in making a production. So I wonder if under law they change it to be this is a game show, but there's only one winner. But I guess the logic, like I said, if he was a despicable human being, would they still have gifted him the 100,000? Like when Yoon loses the game to him and he's like, oh no, I owe you like 2,000, and he's like, pay up. He's like, oh no, I can't afford this. You know, I just think that would be so funny. And they're like, you're kind of a despicable human being. So anyway, good moral character. You guys, what are your 2 favorite things from the show, Clinton?
I just really love the trial. I love how the prosecutor was just the spoiled rich girl that was totally unrelatable. Like it's like there's no way
Kids
you
used
could
to
give
bully
this
me.
girl-
It didn't stop there. Kids used to bully me for being too skinny and too tall. It was really
Yeah.
hard. He's like,
like I know, yeah.
want to
But
punch her.
she's like, I can relate to her, but I can't relate to her, and she's beautiful, and I hate her, but I love her. Yeah, like
I love when they're reading the tweets. It's like, what does this mean? Well, it means he just can't even.
Yeah, I just can't even right now. Well, it means that he can't even right now. Like,
but like giving this, like taking $1 million from this guy who's clearly a deadbeat that nobody likes and like can barely take care of himself, and giving it to this like spoiled rich lady. It's like so hilarious, and it's like, how can you possibly like do that?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought the characters' interactions were really good. I loved when some characters pretended not to speak good English. Or one guy's like, yeah, a door closes and a window opens, and the guy's like, so the door closed and he went out it, and then they all are out the doors, and that's what he's saying. And he's like, it's not exactly what I was saying, but yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Really
Yeah.
funny.
Not so many words, yes. That's what I was saying, yes. It's great. It's too funny. Cameron, how about you? 2 of your favorite things?
I think my first favorite thing is just Todd, like played by David Brown, just all of it. That's Chair Pants.
Oh yeah.
Just everything he did, I just thought was like, I don't know, it was like the perfect embodiment of that character of just like uneasy, like would kind of talk like this, and he just didn't really know, and he just kind of was trailing off and saying random information, and you're like, what are you even saying, dude? Like, is this guy like? And I just love how kind he was to him. It blew my mind, just like how just naturally kind he was. And then my second favorite thing was, I loved like James was Marsden was like the perfect instigator. Anytime anything was like kind of slightly going too well, he would just do something that would make everything like they're like getting like moving along in the case, and then he's just like blending a shake like in the middle of it, and everyone's like, and he kept creating those like awkward situations where it was like dude, like like I shouldn't have to tell you this. And I loved like even when he's like, someone's got to arm wrestle and beat me, and then I'll pay. It was just like, are you for real right now? Like, and I love how everyone made him do all the uncomfortable things. They're like, ask James if he'll pay for the drinks.
I
He's
like
"Oh,
those
might
parts,
be."
yeah, where they have him ask and they made him like the forger or whatever, the
Yeah.
foreperson, and so he had to like speak up and speak on behalf of the jury. I like that. I thought that was clever how they kind of forced his hand in being the hey man, he went through some crazy stuff. Jordan, how about you, man? 2 of your favorite things?
Yeah, Cameron already mentioned him. James, seriously, I've seen him in so many things, but in this show, I just think it's my absolute favorite character he's ever played.
No,
And
Sonic was better. He was better in Sonic.
He's better in Sonic.
I mean, that first encounter when he's just saying, he's like, I love when he's like, oh, I was in Westworld. And he's like, you were in Westworld? And he plays the main character, which is why it's so funny when he
Oh,
says
I
that.
know. It
I
is
couldn't
hilarious.
remember him in The Notebook. He was in The Notebook. I'm like, Was he in the Notebook? I don't
He's
remember him
the
at
other
all.
guy.
The other guy, yeah.
He's not Ryan Gosling. He's the other guy. That's why no one remembers him from the Notebook.
I
He's
know.
the soldier. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I thought that was so funny too. Yeah. And then he's like, dude, like, will you sign my drive DVD? It's like my favorite movie. It's like he's like, oh, there's no way it could be made today, but I loved it. You know, it's so funny. Like,
which my wife and I watched that movie right afterwards. I love it. It's great. It's very
oh
funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right. It would not get made today, but it's very fun. And then obviously just all the uncomfortable situations they put him in. Like my absolute favorite moment is when the guy, after he like looks over at him when he's like trying to get out of jury duty, and the guy that suggests the main character this is surrounding, I forget his name. What is it again?
Wait, oh sorry, Ronald. Yeah.
Oh, Ronald. So yeah, when
Yeah.
Ronald he suggests to be racist, but he's jokingly saying it. But then the guy, when he wants to get out of it, he like looks over at him, and then you just see it in his eyes, like, don't do it. Like,
I know you do. It's like, I'm racist. And he's like, what? He's like,
and then he's like,
actually, I'm not
"Oh."
actually racist. And he goes, well, who told you to
Yeah,
say
who told
He's
you
like,
that? And he looks at him, and then he's like looking around, like, please don't
I
say
know, he's like,
anything.
don't say my name.
Yes, I love when they put him in uncomfortable situations. So good.
I really like that too, where I was thinking about it. I think that was clever how they used his line to use in front of the jurors. I thought that was really clever because, like, whatever he would have told them, like, oh, fake an injury or whatever he would have told them, I really feel like they would have tried to write that in the show, and his excuse would have been whatever he told them. At least that's how I believe it, because they talk about it in the show at the end, the very final episode. They were like, oh, he said, like, be racist, which I thought was super funny because they're like, he could just say he's racist to try to get out of it, and it's just going to be super awkward and funny. So he's just like, in one word, how would you describe? He's like, misunderstood. It's like, I'm not actually racist, I just really don't want to be here. I just think that's such a funny way of going about it. Like, whatever excuse he was gonna say, they didn't know what he was gonna say. He was gonna be like, okay. So it just turned out that he watches Family Guy, and he had heard that Peter, to get out of jury duty, pretended to be racist so he would get out of it. So he's like, you should try that, and he actually used his suggestion, which I would have liked to see more of those things from the show. But it's hard to narrate, like, what do you think I should do? And there was a few moments where they would ask Ron, like, what should I do? Like, what should I tell her? Could you talk to my girlfriend for me? Stuff like that, which was funny. And it's just like, dude, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to do any of this stuff. So anyway, it's funny. But you guys have any nitpicks or I guess anything that you throw out about the show or quotes that you guys liked or
The only
scenes?
thing that I would say is just kind of along the same lines. I wish they would have done more gaslighting with him, because I feel like there was so much potential to just ask him to do super like weird thing, like for example, like taking blame for like the clogged toilet. I just think like that, like stuff like that, if you
That was
just
funny.
consistently do stuff like that to where it's like it's not big enough of a deal for you to be like, okay, no, I'm not actually taking, you're just like,
Right.
sure,
And
I'll
you're like, why? Yeah,
blame
like, why would
for
you
it.
care? And he's like, oh no, dude, the famous actor.
Yeah, because then he's like, then you get a picture my face next to the giant poop, and you're just like, I just wish they would have done more things like that, where you're like, there's no way this actually is like gonna be a big deal, but you're not gonna make a big deal about it, so you just roll with it. And I just wish they would have seen like how far they could push him.
Yeah, like I
I
said,
mean, they
until
did go the more like more sentimental route, which is like you're an everyday hero, which I thought was
Yeah.
kind of cool. I agree with you, Jordan. I think there is that slight bit of like, okay, but I actually created relationships with these people. I don't know if I'd be able to continue the relationship, because I'm like, how much was actually really you? They were like, oh, will you be surprised? Like 90% of us is actually, it was actually us. I was like, I'd be like, okay.
You're all forced to be my friend. But to be fair though, like for 3 weeks time, like, I mean, yeah, it's like a film shoot essentially, because he did know, or at least he thought he was going in doing a documentary, for all intents and purposes. He's like, yeah, these are the people I'm saddled with. I'm going to get to know a lot of these people. And, not knowing any of them outside of it, it's like there were scripted things, but I honestly feel like their personalities, they're probably hammed up, obviously, like, to the writers to make them seem more wacky. Like, no one wears chair pants or chants, like, that's ridiculous. It's like, are those crutches? Like, just keeps wearing them, and he can't sit down, and watching him trying to sit down, he's like, the only problem is when they interact with other chairs. Like, they don't work very well. So painful.
So
Anyway.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't actually invent things and design chair pants, but he still looks like a dweeb and a weasel. So maybe he is. So maybe they're all still friends afterwards. Because afterwards,
Oh,
the end of the show, it shows him hanging out after the show, and I'm like, well, there you go. So he at least kept friends with some of them.
that scene where he's just standing alone in the dark with the mannequins was so funny.
100%. That was a great
That
like
was-
jump scare.
yeah, it was
They go
amazing.
upstairs. They're like, "What is going on up here?" And then he like just appears. They're like, "James,
What are you doing up
what are you doing?"
here? That's so funny.
That was really good.
It's so fitting for his character too. I just love it.
Yeah, he's like drinking liquid protein through his camelback. It's just like food and oats or something like that. It's so gross.
Well, and when James is going like all out, I just like how he's poking fun at all the what does Jared Leto do when he's like in character and never
Method
breaks-
actors.
Yeah,
method actors. I
acting.
love that he's kind of poking fun at method actors, just like
Yeah,
getting
he's like trying to be a everyday regular man. And he's like in a
Yes.
factory, and he's like, the guy doesn't have a license. I don't know what he was intending on doing on that forklift. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna drive this forklift.
and he's like
Gotta
punching
punch
out their
out.
cards. Yeah, I gotta punch out. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or when he's like reading the script and he a jump scare, guys.
Yeah. I
Like,
love that scene. Yeah.
I love
that
it because
was actually really
he
funny.
feels so like an outsider, so he's like trying to be involved in a part of
Yes.
the group.
It's really good. It's clever too, because like yeah, early on they addressed it, because I remember as soon as I saw him, I was like, how are they? And then he's like, no, he's playing like a parody of himself, which I thought was so great, because it's like, yeah, a lot of people don't know what actors are like outside, in their regular lives. So it kind of works, because he's also like, look, I want to get out of this because I want to get a role, and that's all very believable. And then just like slowly starts getting wackier and wackier, and you're like, he's kind of just all over the place, flipping a cake on. Like, I don't want this freaking cake of sympathy. He's like, dude, it's his freaking birthday. And he's like, you mean you didn't get this cake for me?
I know,
No.
and I love that he felt actually really bad about that. That was great.
It was good fun. So, but
An
yeah.
easy recommend.
Yeah, it's easy to
Just
recommend.
except for
It's-
those couple weird.
but even then, like, it's funny because like after having watched the show, it is one of those things where I'm like, yeah, there should be a social experiment about this. And I'm almost like, dude, I would love to see season 2 where there's just this awful, evil, despicable human being, and all the characters are like, we need to help this person. like de-radicalize them.
You're a
and
monster.
you're horrible. And they're like, and at the end, the judge is like, I award you no $100,000, and may heaven have mercy on your soul. Just ends, and you're just like, dang, that was deep, or that was dark. I just think that would be
Well,
really, really
they
funny.
had another show on Netflix I saw, and it was like they essentially set up the situation that like essentially led him to kill and murder somebody, and he wouldn't do it. But then they cut to 3 other people they did it to, and the other people pushed the guy thinking they were committing murder. It's crazy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's,
I
that
know
show was
that I know
crazy,
Sacha
yeah.
Baron Cohen did something like that, where he got like some guy ready to like attack like a political figure. He was like
well, he
ready
got
to
people
shoot them up.
fired, if that's what you're talking about.
No, but he also like, Who Is America? He had like some guy at the end like being willing to go shoot up something or something like that, and he showed up, and he's just like, obviously he like got him to back out of it, but you're like, dude, that guy was ready. It's pretty messed up. So
I don't remember that.
yeah.
But
Yeah, the one Jordan's talking about, they had totally groomed the person into like killing someone. It's like
That's
really
crazy.
horrible to
It's
watch.
well, the saddest part
pretty
is that there
wild.
were people that actually pushed and did it, and so I'm like,
thinking they were
and their
killing him.
well, yeah, and their faces are like forever on the show, like I don't know
Yeah,
that.
in that moment they were willing to kill someone. That's crazy. That's a crazy thought.
Yeah, but I mean, psychologically, they picked the people that at the very beginning they had them all take tests, and they picked the people that they knew they could manipulate easy.
Sure. But even then, you're just like, I mean, yeah, that is a weird thing. Like, it makes me think of Nathan For You a little bit, where I'm like, it would be pretty disconcerting to be on that show and be like, I was willing to go along with this guy's wacky antics because we were on a TV show. Like, what was I supposed to do? You know? And you're like, speak up for yourself. You don't need to let him like do these silly ideas. Like, anyway, just making a mockery out of your business, you know.
But it's just fun. I love this stuff because it's so fun where reality TV is going. I'm like, they're just getting, I feel like, crazy creative. I mean, after Nathan for you, he goes so far. You're like, man, this kid's brain is working. And
Well, that's
over
one of the
time.
issues with reality TV is it's so not authentic. And
Yes.
so this made it authentic and that solved that issue. I'm with you, Jordan.
Yeah.
Shows like Nathan for You, and even some of his and people have interviewed after being like, well, through editing, he kind of manipulated it to get more of the
totally.
reaction and comedy that he wanted. But for me, I'm like, what's the purpose of it? It's purely to entertain and it's funny. So I'm mostly on board with most of it. But rehearsal even went a step further, especially with, the child actors and stuff like that, where I'm like, yeah, there's a serious problem, but I don't know what the answer is. I don't think anyone knows the answer to it. So,
well, I love that you keep saying you want a horrible person. Literally watch any season of Survivor. They're all horrible, disgusting people.
horrible people.
I'm watching it right now. I'm 3 seasons in. I'm like, these people are disgusting.
Or are you the one who's just a bunch of absolutely like socially unaware and like borderline people?
Or even, like any reality show, you get like a weird, swath of people that are all, you have to be kind of narcissistic to want to go on a TV show and be like, I like my personality, I'm a winning personality. Like, it's like you realize the show is like to find yourself a soulmate and get married, right? Or whatever, right? Like Love is Blind. It's like some of those people get on and they're like, this is a great opportunity for like me to market my brand. It's like, you're also here to like meet someone and get married to them. Like, are you ready for this kind of commitment?
Well,
like,
that's like the Bachelorette now. It's like they all do that so they can get more followers on social media. And then they usually, if they end up with the girl, they usually just break up with them afterwards. It's over.
Yeah. Or like I said, it's just literally for them to get clout. So they're like, oh, I was on Netflix on this TV show. And like millions of people will write in and be like, hey, you were hot. Like, oh, I found my match after I put myself there on Netflix because millions of people are watching. So it's like, well, I guess that's another way to put yourself out there, right? Anyway.
Nathan
crazy.
For You did it. Did you guys see that one? The Nathan For You where he made fun of The Bachelor?
Yes.
He's created a whole, he's like, I'm nervous to talk to
Perfect.
women, so all I had to do was create this fake reality TV show and all these women feigned interest in me. It's amazing. And he's like, yeah, that's an amazing thing. The hunk or whatever it was. And then he like he makes his co-host or the host of the show like, he's like, get out of here. He felt threatened by him, so he just kept insulting him.
And it got girls to admit that they were in love with him, and
it's so funny. So funny.
Yeah,
he's like, hey, I don't want to ask you to leave, but like, like I gotta eliminate someone. Like, oh, I really love you. It's so bad. It is so bad. How would you feel if you were a girl on that show? Sure. I love him, sure. Yeah, I love you. So bad. So that's an amazing. See, again, that's Nathan Fielder for you. That's so funny.
Top-notch writing. Clinton, do you want to say what you've seen and what you're looking forward to?
So I saw The Whale.
Yes.
Brendan Fraser.
I love The Whale. I've seen it twice already.
Me too. I watched it with Alex. It just blew my mind.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, loved it.
I'm trying to think of a funny joke about fat people when you said blew up my mind. Oh, blew up my mind. And your fat suit body. Oh my gosh, that's a stupid.
Don't knock it till you watch it, Ty.
Wait, you haven't seen it?
No, he's making a statement.
I know. Okay, I'm not making a statement. As a fellow fat person, when I watch this movie, there's sound effects that were used in it with the CPR and the end tables.
No, Ty, you watch Red Letter Media. They added a sound effect.
Well, even if they did,
they did.
So funny
oh, brother.
I already hate.
As the king of already knowing what a movie is, Jordan.
It's true.
Why don't watch Green Book?
Have I ever been wrong?
Oh,
no. Ultimately, I'm sure if I watched that, I'd find it just fine. I can't stand Darren Aronofsky. I really can't. Jordan knows. Like he's so weird in interviews. He's like
he's very full of himself because he's a good director, so he should be.
Is he a good director though?
I think so.
Point to like two really great movies. I know
Requiem
you
for a Dream is a
like
masterpiece. It's in my top
oh,
100. The
I'll
Wrestler
never
is
least
amazing.
rewatchable movie of all time.
Well, yeah, because it's hard to get through. I mean, I agree with that.
Okay.
It's
It's
still a
like,
masterpiece.
he's such a good director because you can't stand to watch his movies ever again after you see them.
Yeah, you can't, but I've seen it like, I don't know,
You
100
have.
times.
I don't understand why you love that movie so much.
It's amazing.
Jared Leto, though, I get it. Actor
His
of a generation.
early Jared Leto, yes. Anyways, back to The Whale, Tycoon, whatever.
Also
The Whale. So anybody who's seen it has liked it. And then what else? We got Megan. I thought was a really good one.
M3 again. Yes.
Yes, that was so good. The robot doll, killer doll.
I still wish
Could
it was
have been more
rated R,
gruesome.
but
Yeah, could have been more
yeah,
gruesome.
that would have been better. And Dungeons and Dragons was a solid movie. That one surprised me.
Excellent movie. So funny.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to the new Guardians, but kind of not. Like I feel like they're not as funny as they used to be.
okay,
Like,
that's what I thought. But it's amazing. Did you see The Suicide Squad, the new one?
no.
Okay, James Gunn, man, he
I
just gets
liked The
better
Suicide
as he
Squad.
makes his movies. He gets so good. Like this
Okay.
one is his best movie, easily.
Really? His best movie, like James Gunn's done?
Well, I meant of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I
You
like
it better than the first one?
yeah, I just rewatched the first one with my wife last night, and yes, I like it better.
Wow.
Really? Because
Interesting.
Chris Pratt in the last few like Marvel movies has been such a flat.
Yeah.
uninteresting
Oh
boring-
yeah, boring.
It's
Yeah.
probably because of his divorce.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know. He's divorced from Anna
Swing and a
Faris, that's
miss.
all I know.
What else, Clinton?
But he's married to that Arnold Schwarzenegger girl, right? So
He's dating her, I think.
Or
Oh,
was?
really?
I don't know.
Wait, what?
Arnold?
Yeah, he's
Say
dating
no.
Arnold's daughter or
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
niece or something like that. Yeah.
That's funny. He's like, oh, you better be committed.
Yeah, that's all I got. I watched Silence of the Lambs with Alex.
Yes.
First time?
Classic.
Or did you convince Alex to watch it?
I convinced Alex to watch it because it's such a classic horror film. I love that one.
Yeah, it's weird. There's some scary moments, but it's definitely not like
It's almost more thriller.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would say it's classic horror because it's
Excuse me, it was psychological thriller, Jordan.
No, it's
psychological thrillers win Academy Awards, but
kind of along. I think
Horror
it's
movie
kind of
don't.
I think it's kind of along the lines of like The Shining, where it's kind of traumatizing.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Cameron. Like I
Yes.
said, there are three.
Like I don't
definitive
know if I
scenes,
ever
yeah.
like, but I'm still more likely to watch the Shining before I'm gonna watch Silence of the Lambs. I don't know if I'll ever watch Silence of the Lambs again. I'd watch Seven before I watch Silence of the Lambs again.
Oh, interesting.
Seven was way more gruesome.
Yeah.
I know, but there's something about Silence of the Lambs that just is so unsettling and just
very
like
gritty.
seeing
Buffalo
that
Bill.
scene
I
with him
agree.
like with the blood all
Yeah.
over him, and he's like,
Listen to
Yeah.
classical music. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like,
He's the one that set. Yeah, he's the one that created that motif or that.
Well, and you can there's so many videos on
Cliche.
YouTube about breaking
Yeah.
down like how they use their film techniques to make you feel that uncomfortable feeling. Like put yourself exactly in her shoes, and then it cuts closer and closer until you're behind the glass with him, and you're like, get me out of this room with this psychopath.
Yeah.
Well, in the movie, it's like a composite of a bunch of different real serial killers, like one that hit somebody with their cast, one that had
Oh,
women
yeah.
in a hole, one that wore a woman's suit. Yeah, it's like so creepy that these are like real people that did real things that made it.
There
very
is an
real.
added level of it's very scary to be like, oh, is this based off a true story? You're like, all of these really
it's kind of the
happened,
same
yeah.
thing. The reason why like I struggle to watch the scene in Zodiac, like I can watch people in Game of Thrones get their heads chopped off, but like the stabbing scene in Zodiac is like, it's just like, oh, it just is like too real, because it not only did it happen, but like in the manner in which it's not like made for like satisfying to watch. It's just like, oh my gosh, this is like someone actually killing someone. Like insane.
Yeah,
They
scary.
killed real people for this.
Yeah, I'm like, is that a real knife?
Is that real?
Is it Cameron's turn? And Clinton, if you want to stick around, you're welcome to. Otherwise, you gotta go. All right.
Yeah. Peace
Bye,
out.
Clinton.
He doesn't want to know our suggestions for him and things we're looking forward to.
Later,
So,
dudes.
Later.
Bye.
Glenn.
I just started season 3 of Ted Lasso. I don't want to say they progressively get worse. I mean, they do, but it's just because I think the first season is so perfect. It's kind of similar to
Yeah,
like
the first season crescendos, and
I,
then these other ones are like,
I think also it's just kind of similar to The Boys, where it's like season one, I was just like, this is perfection, and then like season 2 and 3, like there's moments in The Boys where
A
I'm
little
like,
bit
yes,
more of the
moments.
same.
yeah. But
Yeah.
then that's kind of how I feel like with Ted Lasso. There's episodes in Ted Lasso like after season 1 where I'm like, ooh, this is so good.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's others where I'm like, I don't know why I don't feel that same like because first season I could not stop watching. Like I watched 6 episodes in one night and I started at like 10 p.m.
That's
Like
so weird because Dad said second season was better, and this girl I work with was like, I didn't start liking it till the second season. I'm like,
That's crazy.
what?
Yeah. But yeah, so season 3 is like it's hard because like it's still great. Like it's still for me, it's still like an 8 out of 10 TV series. It's just like the first season was like 9.5, like borderline 10. So it's
Yes.
hard. It's hard to just accept like this is Ted Lasso because I'm like it's like that first series. I think also just the writing was so quippy. Everything was just so like laughing and feeling so many different emotions. I thought it was so good,
Mm.
but still enjoyable. I think they're still coming out with episodes. I think there's like one or
Yeah.
two left until they finish the season. But so I'm gonna try to finish that. I watched half of King of California, came in at like the second half. Kind of wild. But like
King of
decent.
California.
It's a cute indie film. It's just fun.
It's with Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Oh, I did see. Is it like all yellow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of remind
But
me of
yeah,
It's Always Sunny for some reason.
I mean,
At least
Jordan
the
said I
marketing
missed
The
all the
cover, yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan said I missed all the character development, but for me it was a 5 out of 10. But it was like it was interesting. Um, and then I
Don't pull a
rewatched.
Grant and be like, you just fast forward all this boring dialogue part where they set up characters and motivations and
Yeah,
relationships to each other. But
exactly. So but yeah, the little like 40 minutes that I did see was pretty entertaining. And then uh I watched Guardians for the second time with mom, and it was so funny because she cried like 6 times in it. But
Yes.
I was surprised. I liked it even more the second time.
Yeah, that is surprising. I was shocked when I heard that.
Because like the biggest thing that surprised me was one, I felt the emotion even more the second time. Um, and also I felt the high emotion and the low emotion even like more in the second viewing, which I was surprised by, especially the ending. I think the ending is just such like a perfect ending to not only the movie but then the trilogy as well. I think it's such a it's such a good like feel good, like everyone's going their separate ways, but we're still like family and like life is good. And I just thought the message was so good. I keep debating whether or not to put it in my top 100, and
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
I
whoa.
don't know. It's just it's hard to put it in my top 100, but it is amazing. And then I think that's everything that I've seen. Oh, and I watched a little bit of Air. I need to finish it. Um,
Where's that streaming?
Amazon Prime.
Oh, dang. Already. Wow, that's fast.
Yeah.
Or
So
I thought it came to theaters. Did it not go? Maybe it went straight to streaming.
no, it was theaters.
Okay.
I think it did pretty well. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, it's the first movie Matt Damon and Ben Affleck had written since Good Will Hunting,
Oh, cool.
and so it's really good. It kind of reminds me of
I was waiting for Ty to do the joke. I'm wicked smart.
yeah, we get you, Matt. I'm trying to
Ro-
remember what it reminds me of, but it's honestly really enjoyable. And what I like is it's so little focused on Michael Jordan, which I thought was like going to be like you barely even see his face. Like you see almost just like the side of his face, and it's all just about kind of like the risks. It kind of reminds me of like
Did they get a good like person to play him? Did it feel like it was Jordan or some other
I
else?
I don't know if he ever spoke.
Oh, okay.
I think the only time that he did speak, it was actually Michael Jordan who did the voice over the phone.
Oh, dang. Okay.
I'm not sure though. It definitely sounded like him. If whoever did it, if it wasn't Mike, then it sounds exactly like him.
Yeah, if you're wrong, Cameron, somebody will let us know.
Yeah. But but yeah, I'm really, 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 really looking forward to next week. Me and a couple of my buddies are gonna go see the midnight showing of Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse,
Wait, when does that come out?
June 2nd, which
Oh,
I believe is next
yes.
Friday.
Oh, I'm
And
excited.
Jordan, you should join us if you
Yes, I will. That sounds awesome.
But yeah, because oh man, I'm so excited. I really like. I'm trying not to keep my hopes up, but I'm
Yeah.
just like,
That first one was so good though.
yeah, and that's the thing too, is I'm almost like, even you guys told me how good the first one was, and I went in with like high expectations, but at the same time, like how amazing, like how much of a masterpiece can a cartoon Spider-Man be? And I was like, holy, this is actually a masterpiece.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm excited. Plus Oscar Isaac's in it, and it's got more Spider-Man, and it's got Spider-Man 2099. So it's kind of up my alley of all the nerdy stuffs. And then someday me and Drew will finish Her.
One
And then,
day.
yeah. And then one of my buddies, Noah, recommended Life is Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's one of the best movies he's ever seen.
Wow. It's rough. I mean,
Life
you
is
just got to be
Beautiful.
in
Is
the
that Javier
mood.
Bardem?
I can't remember his name, but it's Son of the Pink Panther. Son of the Pink Panther.
It's Roberto.
Oh, I'm sorry. Life is Beautiful is
Benigni.
the Nazi one, the concentration camp, and he has to lie to his
Don't
kid.
spoil. Cameron's
Well,
gonna watch
okay,
it.
but yeah, it's a World War II concentration camp thing.
I know you're just about to give out the big ending.
No, he's just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
just
I mean, it's got crazy reviews on IMDb. 8.6 is insane.
well, what's his name? He won the Academy Award twice. He won it for that, and then he made this passion project, which Pinocchio, and then he never got an acting job again. So there's something about that. So it's weird, but
yeah. But
dude, what would be your passion project? I want to ask you guys. Like, if you could make something, I would want to be in a Western. What would you guys want, Cameron? What would you want?
mine's
Sci-fi
definitely
or
a serial.
psychological
It's
thriller?
definitely a serial killer.
Would you be a detective, Cameron, or are you the serial killer? Have you always wanted to
I
be
would
crazy
love
and
to play
manic,
the
or do you want
serial
to be like the
killer.
cool? What was that?
I would love to play a serial killer. I feel
Right.
like especially with my wide eyes, I feel like I could be.
Join
But
us, Clarice.
I think if I could combine somehow, do it psychological thriller, time travel, serial killer, I feel like that almost
Ooh,
like
dude, that's got
it's
to
like,
be a thing. We got to do like a sci-fi gritty time traveler movie, dude.
yeah, kind of like what's the one
Cop?
Frequency,
Mom loves? What's the one?
frequency, time cop. Yeah, I
Frequency.
guess they
Yeah,
already
it's kind of like,
exist.
yeah, kind
I'm
of
like,
like,
no one's ever done this, and like millions of movies have done this already
yeah.
ad nauseum.
I mean, yeah, and a bunch of other time travels try to do it more like oh my gosh, but it's usually not as suspenseful. But
Yeah.
yeah, that'd definitely be my passion project. What about you,
All
Jordan?
right.
What
Yeah,
have you
Jordan,
seen?
what
What are
about
you
you,
looking
man?
forward to?
What am I looking
Jordan would like to
forward
do the
to?
Fablemans about him growing up, and it's
Wait,
his
what am I
childhood.
looking forward to, or what would I direct?
No,
'Cause
real quick, yeah.
What have you
What would
seen
be
and
your
looking forward
passion
to
project?
after your passion project?
Yeah,
again,
what's your passion project?
my passion project would probably be
A zombie movie.
a vigilante movie.
A
Oh,
zombie
and a
movie.
zombie movie. Yeah.
Zombie movie.
Honestly,
Vigilante zombie.
I've got a lot of projects in the works that I'm pretty excited about. And I mean, a dream project would be like to make something before Bruce Willis is completely done with acting.
What? You want to have Bruce Willis in your movie?
Just to make a cameo in my movie like he did in Pulp Fiction, which I guess he played a pretty prominent role, but
I was gonna
like,
say
not a
cameo. He's like a
cameo.
third of the story.
Yeah, he's literally like the third
Just a
act
brief cameo.
protagonist.
You know, maybe he shows up with an Uzi, shoots a few people
just
up.
turns
there's
around at the end,
Pop-Tarts.
baby girl.
Baby girl. So funny, dude.
Or just like the cameo he made in remember when he's like, oh, you're talking about Dr. Glass. I just like that was an amazing cameo at the end of
Split.
Thank you.
No, you gotta have the cameo like Channing Tatum in the End of the World, or The World's End, or what's that?
Oh jeez.
Oh yeah, at World's End. He's
At
just
World's
freaking.
End.
Yeah, dude. I got
or
this
even in
guy.
Bullet, or even
My
Bullet
slave
Train.
or whatever.
Pretend like we're having a conversation. Is this like a thing?
Yeah, in Bullet Train, Channing Tatum as a cameo is like amazing.
That was
I think
amazing.
he's great, and Bradley Cooper. Who knew? Like I love seeing him in cameos. Freaking
funny.
hilarious.
I also always forget that he's Rocket Raccoon because he like you lose him in the character. It's insane.
Maybe
just lost.
it's the fact that I love how everybody keeps calling him different things, like it's a hamster.
Yeah,
Trash
porcupine.
Porcupine. So I rewatched the Merritt Stories.
They're Merritt Stories. Is that movie good on rewatch?
The Marriage Story.
You know, there's not a
Meyerowitz story.
Merowitz. There's not a ton visually
Adam
going.
Sandler. Yeah.
I think it's a perfect background movie. I kind of wish I had it just playing in the background, but I like sat down and watched it with my wife, and I didn't like it as much. Like I still love
Yeah.
it. It's just like I said, it's mainly just the acting. So there's not like, I guess I'm just so used to like Denny's like perfect shots where you're like, oh, everything it just looks so beautiful. You just want to soak up the entire
Is
environment.
it
Which I
Denny?
huh?
Is that Denny Villeneuve that made
No,
that?
no,
Or
no,
no,
no.
sorry. Or
It's Noah Baumbach or something like that.
oh no, Baumbach. Yes, because I was
Yeah,
gonna say I was like that's more of a. I was
but
like
it's
I
all
would be
about the
surprised.
script, which the script is amazing. I'm just saying, like,
It
I
is wild to hear them
it
talk over each other.
it
Like they do.
reminds me of it reminds me of Succession, where it's like I
Dude,
could
I'm just started Succession. I'm excited to talk
it's
about it. I've watched
yeah,
the pilot episode and I'm like, yes, my
it's a
show.
it's a
So
perfect
excited.
show to listen to because I mean it is TV shows are a lot about dialogue, which is fun. Why the
Yeah,
Barowitz
like the cinematographer, he like zooms on people like to get the reactions. It's kind of how I make my home videos where I'm like zooming in to make the shot
uh,
more interesting. And you're like, there's
but
not a lot going on, but it's all
yeah,
about
there
the dialogue and characters and the
exactly
relationship to each other. And to me, that's
exactly
more entertaining than a punch to the face by a superhero. I'm so done with
yeah,
all the hero. I can't do it anymore. I have
which
superhero fatigue, and it's all the way dating back to Black Panther, and I'm very open about that.
but I'm
Help
very
me.
excited for the new season of Succession. I haven't watched that
Yes,
one yet, but I've seen the first
yes.
three.
I'm
Love
super excited. Yeah.
Succession. Yeah,
Okay.
wait
I'm
till you.
starting it. Love it.
Yeah, Greg is the best character. Just FYI, Ty.
Is that Kieran McCulkin or who is he? Is he
Oh no,
the dad?
he is so
Is he the
funny.
brother that's gonna in the first episode? Is he the one slated to be
No, Greg
who's
is like
Greg?
kind of the pathetic guy character. You'll meet
The one
him.
that tries to give him the watch, or is he the one that vomits in the mascot?
I think it's the vomiting guy. I don't remember. I
Cameron,
have
you
to
should watch the
rewatch it.
first episode of Succession and let me know because it there was so much going. It was so funny though. I was
Yeah.
like, this is hilarious. Like, so it's written by Adam McKay. If Cameron, I think
Oh,
did you
really?
like?
I like
Yeah,
Adam
dude.
McKay.
Or at least let me double check because I know he was either created it or he's like the showrunner. Succession.
While you're
Pretty sure he
looking,
wrote it. Cameron, so I know you liked the Big Super 8, right? Or no, sorry. Why did I just say that? Big Super 8. The Big Short happened in 2008, which is why I was thinking 8. Cameron, do
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? The
Yeah.
movie with
Yes, with Margot Robbie.
yeah, well, I say it's funny. Yeah, that's like the one scene that she's in. Yeah, she
Yeah.
explains how the housing market crashed. So it was created by Jesse Armstrong, but I know that I saw Adam McKay's name.
while you're looking that
See if I
up,
could.
I also watched Ingrid Goes West for a second time. Still a great movie. Very fun.
Oh, right. I
That one,
love
when you
Ingrid Goes West.
recommended that one, I'm so glad. And I
Dude,
watched it with
okay,
Tot, and Tot
if
loves
you
it.
want another Aubrey Plaza movie, watch Emily the Criminal. Did you watch that one?
But
Dude,
Cameron mentioned the bear one, and I still got to watch that one too.
the bear. Oh, wait, which bear one?
She remember you're like you recommend. Okay, I'll look it up. What did you look up the Succession thing? Is it made by Adam McKay?
The
Sorry.
bear one? What
Yeah,
bear?
I'm not sure which bear one you're talking about.
I'll look it up.
I gotta look it up because I know I saw
What's
Adam
Aubrey
McKay.
Plaza's? Is that her real name or is that her
Yeah,
show
Aubrey
name?
Plaza. No,
Okay.
that's her name.
I wasn't sure if that was her character in Parks and Rec.
Black bear?
Thank you. You said you're like, oh, I was watching on I think it was a TikTok or some video. You're like, I trust this guy's views, and he recommended this movie. So I put it on my bucket list, and it finally came in the $5 bin. That was ages ago when you said this. So you probably forgot. I do that all the time. I put movies on my watch list, and then like years later, I finally can buy it. And then I'm like, I don't remember why I put this on my watch list.
Yeah.
So
No, I now do remember. Yeah, the dude. Yeah, it definitely was recommended to me, but it was apparently like really good.
I just added it to the list. I'm a bit surprised. I've actually really liked the stuff she's done.
Kind of crazy how many people kind of got their start from Parks and Rec, like Chris, Aubrey, even Aziz Ansari, and
Well, he's been doing stuff a long time, but
oh really?
Oh, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it said, well,
No.
it says he was a executive producer of 36 of the episodes. So I know he's had a hand in it, but let me double check that
It's
he did any writing for it.
Oh, also, Black Mirror season 6 comes out in like a week, right?
I didn't realize it was that soon. I'm
Let me
young.
see. Let me see. Let me see. It says June of 2023, so I mean, it could be next week.
Yes, I'm young. Yeah, Ty, after you finish Succession, don't watch it now, but after you're done, then watch Nerdwriter's video. Very good.
Oh, he talks about Succession.
Yeah, but don't
Oh,
watch
cool.
it now because he'll
Of course not.
spoil.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
spoils
no.
a lot.
Yeah. No, I'll watch all the show. I'm gonna binge this. Me and my wife watched it together, and we were both floored by the first episode. Cameron, I highly recommend you watch it too because I actually think it's up your alley. If you liked the housing market crash Did you see Don't Look Up? I saw that movie. I thought it was okay. It was pretty infuriating. I thought it was
Not gonna
okay,
lie,
but
the only reason I
Yeah.
really enjoyed The Big Short was just mainly because of like Christian Bale and Ryan
Christian
Gosling.
dude, no,
Bale.
Ryan Gosling, dude. I'm jacked. I'm jacked to the tits. He's my favorite.
Jack.
I love. Dude, I actually kind of want to go see like a double feature for some reason.
Oh,
Ryan
Barbie.
Gosling, Margot
Oh.
Robbie, and then
Yes.
go see the freaking
Yes.
atomic bomb drop, dude.
Yes. I'm
Go
watching
watch.
Barbie. I'm definitely watching it first though, because if I watch
Yeah, if you watch
Oppenheimer
Nolan's like
first, I'm like, oh, that was
masterpiece
garbage
about
and a waste of my
Oppenheimer, yeah,
time.
I'll be like, oh, Barbie movie is super dumb. But what if the opposite happens? Against all odds, Barbie movie I enjoy more than I watch Oppenheimer.
No.
Nolan just fails. It's super sappy and over the top and silly. Like everyone always complains he doesn't do characters well, and I'm like, I don't know. I liked Inception. I liked Interstellar. I liked all of his characters. I freaking love JD Washington, and they didn't have to do a lot for me to like him. I thought he was freaking awesome. And I was
Oh,
like,
here we go again.
Even Grant, all you guys do is talk about how good Tenet is in JD Washington.
I
I
know. I
love
don't.
it.
It
You
was
don't like
good,
it?
but it wasn't like the best.
I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago. I loved it. I think he's super cool. He's suave. He was more interesting than Daniel Craig's last Bond film.
Mm, there's no argument there.
There you go.
You guys need to watch at least the first 15 minutes of Ghosted, the Chris Evans Anna de Armas movie. You will laugh so hard. You just have to just
Bad, right,
experience the
yeah.
writing just for like even one scene and just be
It's
like,
weird. This is before the strike, though, right? Yeah. Yikes.
hurts.
It just hurts. The
It's
dialogue hurts.
it's difficult to digest. Me and Drew multiple times, like
I don't. I can't.
I
hate watching. You
paused
know
the
what's so
movie
crazy?
and we would look at each other,
Yeah.
and then we go back and press
This
play.
is so crazy. So you guys see the Indiana Jones 5 reviews are in.
Are they really?
36%
Oh,
on
no.
Rotten Tomatoes.
36?
Holy shit. 36, dude. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I felt this for a long time now, where I get more gratification out of watching YouTubers that passionately love these things that Disney is currently destroying. So
Yeah.
I'm like, Disney, keep it up, because there is a heck of a lot of content on YouTube that I get to enjoy about people that would give their left arm to have a chance to write, produce, or to direct a Indiana Jones film, because it's like they love the franchise. They love
Yeah.
it. They grew up watching it. They collect all the figurines. They understand the material more than a lot of these corporate shills do, right? But I'm like, this is a pretty cool time where we live. Like, we have
Where-
better content on YouTube
Yeah.
mocking the stuff that's multi-billion-dollar produced. Like, that's crazy.
Where Red
What a
Letter
weird
Media
time
can
to-
just rip it to shreds.
Yeah, and it's just more entertaining to watch people tear it apart. And it's not even so much like to hate on it, because it's like, where's all the YouTube videos about Paddington 2 and how awful that movie is? They don't exist because the movie's fetching good. It's mentioned in other films like Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent of how freaking good the movie is. And it's surprising because the movie didn't have to be that good. It's needlessly good. But I'm just like, I'm just so done. Like, I didn't realize it. Like, I remember even getting a twinge of excitement thinking like, oh, they have a chance to make a movie better than the nuked fridge one, which,
Well,
Kingdom of
it's
the
so
Crystal
funny.
Skull,
Like
it's the least
me and Cameron
good.
were done way before you. You kept sticking with it, which is the funny part. You watched so many more shows on Disney. I don't know how you stuck with it.
Well, part of it was like I'm truly, so here's the thing.
I can't believe you did She-Hulk
There are like
as long as you
board
did.
members of Disney that are suing Disney because they think they're doing a money scheme, because like the content they're producing is so subpar. They're like, and it's not like what target audiences want. They're like, there's like a money laundering issue like with this, because
Oh,
they're
yikes.
shifting money. They're like blowing money on things that like nobody wants. Like if you invested in Disney, you're like, make money, make this popular. They've lost like I think it was like 1 billion subscribers, or was it a million? I don't know. Like another million subscribers in 1 quarter. Like, people are just leaving Disney
Well,
Plus
tell you,
in
you didn't
droves, dude.
you didn't
It's
watch the episode
crazy.
of South Park where they talked about like who's actually running Disney, and they're like, nobody's actually running it. It's like by all these different people who have invested into it, and he's explaining it, and then somebody's like, you should run Disney. And everyone's like, yeah, let this kid run Disney. And he's like, no, he's like, anyways, it's just funny.
Dude. I need to watch modern South Park, because like it would probably keep my sanity going, because but anyway, I'm just, when I saw it though, I'm like, golly, like they couldn't let Joseph, they couldn't. The last time we saw Indiana Jones, he was getting married to Miriam, right? And his son was going to take up the
yeah.
mantle.
That's right. Yeah.
this movie starts. He's a washed up has been drunk, like he's not married, and I'm like, why can't
It's
Harrison Ford
I'm
keep a
surprised
wife?
he didn't decide to
he's a
make it a Western.
despicable-
This is the same guy that did Wolverine, or the the last one with Hugh Jackman.
Days
The
of Future Past.
Logan?
James
Logan.
Logan, yeah, James Goldman. And I'm surprised he didn't decide to make this one like a Western too.
I'm
That's
sure there's
sad.
elements that are like Western, but in the end, it's just like it's over, dude.
And my favorite movie that he did, Identity.
Dude,
Horse
seriously,
don't
that's
get
so good.
second chances.
I hate that movie so much.
I love that
I'm so
movie.
glad I didn't come on that
He's lying.
episode, and I hate that I ever watched
Wait,
it.
no, I'm thinking Conspiracy. Which one's Identity?
One
Identity
where
is
the
John,
touching-
John Cusack, and it's got that guy
Oh,
that died in the cocaine.
the all the multiple
Yeah.
split person. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that movie is so weird.
I love that.
I can't believe
movie.
I've seen that movie. That is a movie where you're tomorrow you could ask me like, hey, there's this John Cusack movie and it's a psychological thriller, and I wouldn't even realize I'd watched
Yeah.
it until I watched it. Like,
And then you
I've
watch it.
seen
I've
this
seen this.
before.
Yeah, it is. It's a perfect B movie because it's one you forget right away,
So
and then
forgettable. And you
years
can watch
later
it
watch it
again,
again, and you're like, wait a minute.
but you may remember the twist. But even then, you're like, it's worth it.
And
'cause
it's
some of the most
enjoyable
wacky-
enough up until the very end. Then you're like, oh no, it all falls apart. But it's just
Yeah, I did enjoy it up until that last twist. I was like, who allowed this to get written?
yeah.
Like, who took this into the writers' room and was like, this twist though? M. Night Shyamalan must have approved on that one. Goodness.
Do you like selfish, greedy families, Karen? Or did you ever watch House of Cards, Cam?
No.
Because Succession is like House of Cards meets like the housing market movie. I always forget The Big Short. It's a lot like that, where it's just like this greedy family, espionage. They're all it's a race to the top. They're all like, who wants to be the successor of this rich, wealthy father who is so cutthroat and despises his kids, and well, not despises, but like he keeps them at a distance.
Sounds kind of like Knives Out as well.
Yeah, it's a lot like that. But again, it's darker because it almost feels almost a little bit more like David Fincher, even though
Yeah.
Adam McKay, there's no Fincher, but like, and it's not as dark. But again, the dialogue, like the characters are so cutthroat. I think you would get a kick out of it.
Oh,
I
Cameron
really
would
do.
love it. It's Cameron.
Okay.
It's basically the politics of Game of Thrones,
Yeah, it's
but
just
minus the
Yeah.
violence.
Yeah, but it's literally that's the funny thing too. They're all like in business suits doing like these billion-dollar deals, but after they shake hands, they're like, "I'm gonna fucking sink you," and you're just like, "Oh my gosh!" Like it is like that, Cameron. Where it's so good. He's like, "Without your daddy," he's like, "I just got words like without your daddy around, you're gonna be like freaking. I'm gonna freaking make you." You're just like, "Oh, okay." It's great. Like the first episode, just watch the first episode, and you'll know whether or not you want to keep watching. But I'm hooked. Me and Maddie are gonna be watching that, so I'm very excited to watch Succession. Other than that, like I said, when does Barbie come out next week? Oppenheimer comes out next week.
No, Oppenheimer comes out July 21st.
Oh, in
Unfortunately,
July. Okay, I'm sorry. So we got
But-
a few more.
but we got some good stuff to look
weeks.
forward to. Huh?
Spider-Man in Across the Spider-Verse is next week, as well as potentially Black Mirror season 6.
Okay, I will. You let me know if there's any episode of Black Mirror I need to see, and I think I will go see Into the Spider-Verse
And
Across the Spider-Verse, whatever.
and Dune
with my
Part
family.
2.
And Dune Part 2. When is
I'm
that coming
so
out?
excited. Probably not till November.
November. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they finally like announced.
But yeah,
it,
there's a
working on
bunch
it.
of crazy releases soon. Oh, let me see.
Yeah, it feels like even with the writer strike, we're just getting back out of the COVID era and streaming where there's like some good movies are returning and it makes me hopeful. And then some other ones they're gonna let quietly die, like Indiana Jones, which is too bad because I love Indiana Jones. I think he's like a perfect action
Well, the
hero.
first 3, and then
First 3 are it's an amazing trilogy. Might have to add that into like first Indiana Jones is like one of the most iconic movies of all time. I don't know where
Yes.
it ranks in my top 100, but if every time I watch it, I'm like,
I love
I'm
the third
surprised
one
at how
too.
well this movie holds up. Like,
I think the
third-
third one's like almost
Perfect movie.
just as good as the first one as well.
yes,
I think
yes.
the second one kind of is like
but it's still like there's so much to
Part-
enjoy about it.
there's
But I
parts
do
that are really
agree. It's
good.
yeah.
I also think that
Which
the
is weird. Did you know
the girl in the
canonically the
one's
second one
phenomenal.
occurs before the Lost Ark? I didn't know that. So technically, the Temple of Doom is like the first movie, like at least where in Inye's life where it happens.
But
I
then
didn't know that.
But then he became a dad, and now he's making movies that are kid friendly. No more shots in the face and blood shooting out.
Oh, I know, dude, right?
Oh, also,
good.
Transformers: Rise of Beasts comes out.
Oh my
Drew wants to see it
gosh.
so bad.
No.
I'm like,
I
why?
have
He's like, dude. He's like,
zero. I
robot
give
gorilla.
zero about Transformers
Oh,
these days. I could not care less. Good for
And-
Michael. Is it Michael Bay? Is he still directing them?
I think so. Let me.
I think he's just producing. I think he's
Probably.
finally
He's
stopped.
probably like, I think you guys know what I'm about.
But
Because then, and then there's a big semi, and bruh, Mr. Mike, Mr. Bay, these are special effects. This is not a story.
no, but then also Elemental comes out, which it's kind of similar. Looks like a Soul.
No, it looks like freaking Zootopia. It's literally Zootopia.
But
Oh, carnivores and herbivores. We don't mix. Oh, elements. We don't mix. But oh, look, we're friends.
I'm
Oh.
pretty excited though for Flash. The Flash movie.
The Flash. Ezra Miller. Are we supposed to forgive him? Just let bygones be bygones. He's
Oh,
a
geez.
weirdo.
Also, Ty,
Cult
you'll
member.
like this. Ty, Extraction 2 comes out.
Oh, I know. I heard that. That's right. He's
Yeah.
got to go save his Indian twin or something like that, right?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
that
It's probably
comes
another
out.
rescue movie.
Dude,
Awesome
Teenage Kraken
action,
looks like the
awesome
dumbest thing
choreography. If
I've
they
ever
make
seen.
it like a John Wick style or like Extraction 1, I'm totally for it. So
Also, Mission Impossible, like the 900th one's coming out. Dude,
yeah.
the stunt of him jumping off, it looks insane. I'm like,
What is he flying off a motorcycle off a ramp?
Yeah.
You're just like, dude, that's
yeah,
awesome. That's so
and then
freaking cool.
into like I think it's like a flying squirrel suit or whatever, or like a parachute. It's insane, dude.
But I sent you guys the Ben Stiller one, right? Because that was before the MTV Awards.
Yeah.
We talked about this, right? It's like we know each other so well, we finish each other's sentences. Well,
Finish
I
others-
don't know that we've ever finished each other's sentences. I love this guy. Ben Stiller is so good. He nailed it. And when he's getting Tom Cruise to laugh at the end there, dude, oh my gosh. Go on YouTube, watch it, guys. That is a gem.
I don't think
Ben
I ever
Stiller.
realized how much Ben Stiller makes me uncomfortable until I recognize almost every movie that he's ever in is a movie that makes me uncomfortable.
Yes,
Like-
dude, that he's almost like the gross out comedian, but also like
He's just like every single show.
he's like
it's
the
always so
Michael Scott
weird.
of comedies, right? Meet the Parents. That's all very much that like cringe humor where it's
Yeah.
like he's in such uncomfortable positions. It's like, I got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Like that has to be like one of the most uncomfortable conversations that anyone's ever had with their father-in-law. It's so funny. So great, dude.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder. See, that's another example. Tropic Thunder. Watching Tom Cruise be Les Grossman. I want to see more of that. I hope that now that Tom Cruise is a little bit older, I'm like, take a step. You're gonna kill yourself doing your stunts, man. Just step down and do like more Les Grossman stuff, dude. I'd be totally for that.
And did you see the Blackberry? I want to see that. That comes out Tuesday, and it's
I've
got
heard great things about
Glenn
that.
Howerton. Yes.
yeah, and
I
he has
did
the
look at
same
it.
hairdo that Tom Cruise has. I love that. Are you
Yes.
kidding me?
Yes, the bald with the hair on the side. I love it.
Yes.
It did look fun. Like, quick question: do either of you have any desire to see Tetris or Air? Because both of these movies feel like the same thing. It's like,
Cameron started it.
Oh, yeah,
I
do you see-
started Air.
I figured you would. Is it a good sports movie at all? It kind of feels like a Ford versus Ferrari meets
Yeah, kind of. It's definitely not sports movie. It's more like
business.
kind of like businessy. It's almost kind of like the founder-ish vibes where it's just kind of
Yeah.
like it's a cool entrepreneur story of essentially like they're like, this is where Nike's at, and it's like, and it's just crazy to see where they were at and to where they're at now, to where like they're like the #1 sports brand in the world, and it's essentially because of Michael Jordan, because like they bet everything on him, where they were like, we're gonna make essentially like our entire basketball brand
Right
around this kid.
along with Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems.
I'm
Bet everything
surprised,
on-
Ty, you're not making a joke about him asking Cameron if he wrote himself as like a wicked smart character. Matt.
Oh yeah, Matt Damon.
But it is the
Forgot
first
about
movie.
Wicked Smart.
It's got really great writings from what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
It's the first movie they've written together since Good Will Hunting. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
I'm
so
sure.
it's fun.
I would say I'm sure. I just feel like it's one of those Academy Award winning movies, right? They're like, but it almost feels like a glorified commercial for Nike Air shoes. So I'm like, just like Tetris. They basically made it.
Or
like,
the Lego movie. I mean,
they're
it's
like on the
2 hour.
runway escaping Russians, and I'm like, yeah, it didn't really happen that way, but you know, it's a movie. You got to make it a little more exciting. It's like it's a movie about Tetris. How exciting could it possibly be? It's like if it's not as exciting as playing Tetris, you have a problem. It's like maybe you should have just made it like the Emoji Movie where the shapes of Tetris are all like going on a quest together. But instead it's like, no, it's the founder of Tetris or whatever. Anyway,
Have either of you guys seen the Emoji Movie? I've heard such horrible
no.
things
Oh,
about it. I
no.
almost want to.
Never.
No, but I've watched plenty of YouTube critics that talk about how bad it is. See, again, I just want to reiterate, we live in an amazing time where of all the bad properties like Disney keep pumping out these $1 million projects that are so awful. Like
But-
Wendy and Peter Pan and Wendy. I don't know if you guys heard anything about that. Watch these YouTubers and I'm like, I can't believe they went there. Like they just made it so unlikable and so unfantastical. So,
Or like 10 Pinocchio movies.
Ty, have you ever seen Wonder Woman 1984?
no, and I've seen so many reviews. I know I've seen so many people.
But that
tear
one
it apart.
actually is worth it. It's one you have to watch in a group. It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's just so bad.
It is
good
so
anyway.
funny.
Yeah.
Like, and it's amazing.
Sounds good. Everybody, this has been Futro Hidden Movie Gems. We can't wait to see all these good movies in the theater. Go to the theater. Go support your local movie theater because heaven knows they need all the support they can get. They'll be gone in 20 years. Probably sooner. Anyway, this has been Futro Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email at futromovies@gmail.com. We love you so much. Tell us a movie you'd like us to review. And if we already reviewed one of your movies, tell us what we got right or wrong about it. We love you, listeners. Take it easy.
I'm in Sonic.
This jury is now acquitted. And I'm not a real judge. And this is not a real case. And you get $100,000. Woo!
And emotionally scarred.
You're emotionally scarred.